Here we go.
Hello?
Hi, is this the church?
Yes, it is.
Oh, great.
This Pastor.
Oh, great. I'm so glad I reached you. I was wondering, I am a believer, and I was wondering which Bible translation do you preach out of at that church?
Well, we only use the King James Version.
Oh, awesome. That's my favorite. I was just curious, do you know that verse by heart, Romans 3:23, by any chance?
For all his sin comes short of the glory of God. Talking about that one?
No, the one, for all have sinned, that one?
All their sin?
Do you know the rest of it by memory?
For all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. But let's see. No, I don't remember the rest of it.
Oh.
You got me.
Do you remember it ever being, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God?
Of course. What is your name?
Michaela?
Mandela. We know someone else by that name. Nice name.
Oh, thanks. But do you remember it being fallen then at one point? Because that's how I memorized it about 8 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Do you ever remember it being fallen?
Do I remember it being fallen?
For all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God?
Well, of course. I mean, every Christian does still commit sin at certain times.
No, I mean, do you remember the actual verse being fallen in the King James Bible? Like I remember it being fallen instead of come short, like 8 years ago when I memorized it. And my dad also...
Oh, okay. Now I see what you're saying. Hold on just a minute here.
Well, it's not, I mean, it says come short now, but I remember 8 years ago when I memorized it, it was fallen, because I would always preach that to people, for all have sinned and fallen short. And then my dad also memorized fallen too, because I asked him to quote it, and he said it was fallen, but now we don't see that in our King James Bible.
Well, hold on. I'll check this out right now, because you got a good question. We're talking about a different. We're talking about Romans 3:23.
For all have sinned.
Yeah.
So you don't remember it ever being fallen and not come short?
Well, it could be in another version.
But do you remember it being fallen in any version? Like, do you ever remember hearing for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory? Like, do you ever remember hearing that version of it ever preached?
No, it's for all his sin and comes short of the glory of God. But you could cross-reference and see if maybe it was in New King James or it was in, New American Standard or something that way.
Well, it doesn't exist in any Bible anymore as fallen, but I memorized it out of a King James Bible. How about this one? Do you remember the verse about a certain animal will lay down with a lamb?
Yeah, let's see. I think that's the...
Do you remember
lion?
The lion? Oh, okay, so you remember the lion? Would you?
Okay.
But before you look at it,
here, she's got this. She's got her box. She has a much better memory of all the verses she's memorized. So I'll let you talk. I'll let you talk to her. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Her name is Nancy. This is Michaela. She's asking me some questions about the Bible. Verses have been changed.
Okay.
Oh, hi, Nancy.
What is it? Hi.
Hi. So you read out of the King James Bible?
Yes.
Oh, great. That's my favorite. That's the one I memorized. Do you remember Romans 3:23 by memory? Could you quote it? For all have sinned and
come short of the glory of God.
Do you ever remember it being fallen short?
No.
Okay. How about do you remember that verse about a certain animal will lay down with a lamb? Do you remember what animal?
In Isaiah.
Do you remember what animal it was, just off memory?
Lion.
And So, okay, so lion, and do you remember reading that for yourself with your own eyes at any point? Like you,
Yes.
so you do remember reading Isaiah 11:6 with your own eyes, and it said, "Lion shall lay down with the lamb."
Isaiah 11:6. I wasn't sure where it was. Um,
Oh,
I I believe so. Hold on just a minute. Um, no, that's the wolf. That's a different verse.
so where is the lion shall lay down with the
It says the
lamb?
wolf. It says the wolf also shall dwell with the lamb.
So
Yeah, but there is one about the lion too.
that the lion shall lay down with the lamb.
Well, I believe so.
Do you know it's? I can't find. It's nowhere in any Bible anymore. Did you know that?
Well, maybe I got it wrong, but hold on just a minute. Just a minute.
Okay, take your time.
I remember the child shall play. The child shall lead them. Something about the little child shall lead them.
So you remember the lion shall lay down with the lamb was right next to the little child shall lead them, around the same area.
It seems like it.
Yeah, because it used to be in Isaiah 11:6. There's another one. I think it was Isaiah 65:25 or something around there, and it also says wolf now. And I can't find that verse about the lion shall lay down with the lamb anywhere in any Bible. And when I type into the internet, it says it doesn't exist anymore. But I remember
Hold on just a minute. It's 65, Isaiah 65 what?
it was I think it was Isaiah 65:25. But let me look real fast.
I'm looking too.
Well, 11:6 says that the wolf also dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion, and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them.
Okay.
The lion's in there.
But do you remember? You said you remember it being the lion shall lay down with the lamb, right?
Well, I was guessing.
That's just what the world tells us in different things. The wolf and the lamb shall feed together, and the lion shall eat straw like the bullock,
So
and dust shall be the serpent's meat. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountains, saith the Lord. That's 65:25.
There was also a New Schofield Bible that had some words changed in it too. It's a King James. It was the New Schofield Bible, King James, but they changed some words like that.
are you talking about like when they translated it, they changed words, or do you mean? Because
When
for
they made
instance,
the New Schofield Bible.
But I don't know if that's what they said in the New Schofield, because I didn't have a New Schofield. I haven't had a New Schofield for many years. I have had one before.
do you remember the wolf will dwell with? What it says now is the wolf will dwell with the lamb. Do you remember that ever being there, like from memory, or is this the first time you kind of remember reading it?
Well, I've read it before, but I never memorized that verse. So I just I didn't, I never made that, a memorized verse.
Because
But I didn't memorize it or anything.
all these paintings and sculptures of lions laying with lamb, but there's hardly any.
Yes,
So
exactly, and that's what we see in the world. The world shows that picture because they think it's so amazing, But it's just as amazing for a wolf to be with a lamb. I don't know why they don't put that in picture.
maybe because they changed it, because you think they would have made a picture of that, Do you know the word stuff is in the King James Bible? Did you know that? The word stuff, like, you know, when Jesus says, don't, whenever he returns, don't go down to your house to get your possessions or belongings. Now it says, don't go down to get your stuff. Does that word stuff, doesn't it seem like it shouldn't be in the King James Bible? Or
Let me look just a minute. I don't know if that was a verse, but you know that it was that particular one. But I think I've seen the word stuff.
it was in Luke 17:31.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen the word stuff. Let's see. Hold on. Yeah. In Genesis 31:37, thou hast searched all my stuff. That's my husband's Bible. Yeah, there's stuff is definitely a word in the Bible, if that's what you're asking.
So do you think the word stuff sounds like King James language? Because to me it should be possessions or belongings in all the other versions, but in King James it says stuff. Doesn't that sound like a weird modern term? Not
since it's there. I mean, to me, it's not since it's there, it doesn't.
Okay, here's another question. Do you remember that preacher on TV, Joel?
Yes.
Do you remember his last name?
Osteen.
And do you remember how to spell it?
No.
But so
I
don't. So you said, wait, can you repeat it again? It was O.
Osteen.
So it had an L in it, like the letter L?
Yes.
That's how I remember it too, because I bought one of his books like 10 years ago, and it was Olstein with an L. Did you know that right now his name isn't Olstein, it's Osteen with no L?
Osteen? Okay.
With no L.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is weird, right? Because all these people remember it being Olstein.
I don't listen to him. I've never
Me either.
really listened to him. I've just seen his picture and seen his books, and I think I have seen on the book Joel Osteen. I think I have seen that, but I've always thought it was Olstein. Just the way I hear people say it.
Well, yeah, because I used to have his book and it was Olstein, and now it's Osteen. So things are being changed, and that's why I was asking questions about the Bible, because there's people remembering the lion shall lay down with the lamb, and it doesn't exist in any Bible, and they're saying that they're supernaturally changing the words in our paper in the actual Bibles. I mean, I personally have seen scriptures changed, like Romans 3:23. When I memorized it, it was for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, and my dad memorized it the same way from the King James, and now it's gone, and there's all these change. Yeah, it's pretty supernatural, and it's called the Mandela effect if you want to look it up.
Oh.
Yeah, because
no, I don't believe it's supernatural. I don't believe anything like that. I believe that certainly God has power to do anything. That's not the issue. The issue is if I've read it wrong or understood it wrong. You know, if you don't still have that Joel Osteen book that you said you bought and it said Osteen, then I would tend to think that it always said Osteen, but we just heard it said, pronounced Osteen all of our lives, so we don't think about it. You know, I don't think about things like that.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Sure. I don't know if I was any help to you, but...
Yes, you were.
Okay.
All right, have a great day.
All right, you too.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
I discovered the Mandela effect by innocently noticing Fruit Loops in the grocery store spelled Fruit Loops, F-R-O-O-T. I didn't think anything was peculiar at the time. I believed it was just a marketing rebranding, which happens sometimes. But later that same night, I noticed someone on YouTube posted a video about Fruit Loops. I thought that was strange, so I watched the video. After watching the video, a cascading investigating event ensued. I found that this Mandela effect was not isolated to just one thing or event. I found changes in historic events, movie titles, and iconic lines within movies changed. The Bible changed, land masses changed, populations changed, and time has sped up. I didn't sleep for 3 days straight initially as I lay in a fetal position in one of my spare rooms of my Fort Wainwright, Alaska on Post House. We had recently lost our daughter to cancer, so my wife was already isolating herself, and this was not something I could add to her already desperate period of adjustment. I too felt our daughter's loss, and now I have noticed the world is not what I thought it was, or not what I was taught it was from the beginning. What is this Mandela effect? Have I shifted realities? Did the world blow up and we're all in a parallel dimension? Does God have a message in this whole thing? Does this prove or disprove God himself? I searched, alone, these and even more possibilities. My search ended after I decided to do the one thing I should have done at the very first sighting of this grand event. I prayed, and I asked God what was going on. My struggle slowed, and I waited. I prayed this request repeatedly for several weeks. I received my answer at the appointed time and place of God's choosing in a dream I experienced while asleep in Saudi Arabia. I walked calmly to a tall white tower with no windows. The tower was most likely 7 to 10 stories tall. There was a single opening in the front, no door, just an opening where a door could be. I walked in and observed stairs lining the walls all the way to the top, like you would see in a lighthouse. The inside was brightly lit, but not from an observable light source. The walls and stairs just gave their own light. I could only hear my footsteps as I walked to the top of the tower. I didn't feel fear or really any emotion other than curiosity of what was at the very top of this tall white tower. When I reached the top, there was a white-floored platform, and at the top of the stairs on the flat banister rail sat a large brown Bible with a gold cross. The cross was the size of the Bible itself. I had never seen this Bible before and I didn't recognize it. I picked it up to read it, and as I opened the book, I noticed that the pages were all blank. White, with no ink at all. I flipped through the pages and they were all blank. As I searched the Bible, I heard a loud growl from behind me. I knew that if I didn't leave, that what was behind me would destroy me. I said to myself, uh-oh, and then I ran down the stairs, feeling this angry beast right on my heels the whole time. If I slowed down, I was gonna get hit. I could hear the breathing of this beast behind me, and feel the wind from the swings of what might have been a claw of some sort. I didn't slow down to look at what was behind me. I raced down the stairs and out the front opening and into an awakened state in my bed. From that point forward, I was no longer questioning what this Mandela effect is or will be. I am now an awakened saint.